Welcome to Limitless with Rahul. Welcome to Limitless with Rahul, where ancient spiritual wisdom meets modern manifestation mastery. In today's journey, I am going to share with you one of the most incredible, mind bending true stories ever told by Neville Goddard. A story about a man who was utterly stuck. He was out of work, out of money, exiled from his country, rejected by society, and seemingly abandoned by fate. But through one daring act of imagination, his entire reality shifted. The world called it a coincidence. Neville called it law. So sit back, close your eyes, and feel the reality of this story because it could very well become your own. The letter that changed everything. Neville once shared this true story during his lecture in New York in the late 1950s. A man from Barbados, let's call him David, had been living in New York for several years. Originally from a large, loving family in the Caribbean, David came to the US with the dream of building a new life. He had a job. He was saving money. He even planned to bring his family over eventually. But suddenly, everything collapsed. The company he worked for shut down. He didn't have the right paperwork. And one day, the US government refused to extend his visa. He was ordered to leave the country within 30 days. David was devastated. He had no savings, no family in the US, and returning to Barbados meant failure in the eyes of everyone back home. He wrote to Neville. He had attended his lecture and pleaded, "Can this teaching help me now? Can imagination fix even this?" Neville's answer was simple. Live as though you have already received the letter from immigration saying, "You may remain." Sleep in the feeling, walk in the knowing. That's all you need to do. And David did it. Every single night for 2 weeks, David would lie in the bed and mentally rehearse holding a letter in his hands. He would smell the paper, feel the texture, see the words clearly. We are pleased to inform you that your request to remain in the United States has been approved. He would cry tears of gratitude as if it had already happened. He would wake up in the morning feeling as though the letter was on its way. He told no one. He simply believed. But the outer world showed no signs. The deadline approached. His heart was pounding. One more day left. Then something remarkable happened. On the last day, just as he was preparing to leave for the airport, a mailman rang his doorbell. He handed him a letter. David stared at it. The handwriting, the return address, the official seal. With trembling fingers, he opened it. Inside, it read, "We are pleased to inform you that your request to remain in the United States has been reviewed and approved. You are hereby granted indefinite residence based on revised policy considerations." He collapsed in the chair. It happened. It actually happened. What changed? The rules? The policy? The system? No. He changed his state of consciousness. And the world, being nothing but a reflection of state, rearranged itself to match his assumption. Neville taught that we do not attract what we want. We attract what we are. David became the man who already had the letter, and so the universe made it real. Feeling is the secret, Neville says. No pleading, no hoping, but entering the state emotionally, physically, and mentally, where you desire is already real. And what's so extraordinary here is David wasn't trying to convince the government. He wasn't focused on how it would happen. He shifted within. And the outer world had no choice but to respond. Consciousness is the only reality. Neville Goddard. What are you currently assuming? What do you rehearse emotionally every day without realizing it? Because you are always manifesting. You already are what you see. Let this story remind you there is nothing too big, too bureaucratic, or too impossible for the creative powers within you. You don't need credentials, money, or permission. You only need the courage to feel it real, to claim your desire in imagination and trust that the word will follow. So the next time you are told no, just remember reality is not final. Assume the state and watch the impossible become inevitable. Subscribe to Limitless with Rahul for more true stories, simplified teachings, and powerful mental journeys rooted in the wisdom of Neville Goddard. Let's master the law of assumption together. Thank you.